10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Hi everybody, welcome on in. Welcome to GTR Gul'dan Talk Radio. Welcome to episode 5, everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well. For people that are living around me, hopefully you guys are all shoveled out from the huge snowstorm that we got this past weekend. I know it took me till probably midweek before I was even able to get out kind of my building and to become another contributor to society. But hopefully you guys are all doing well. Today we are going to try something a little different. So normally the podcast was done initially on as a live stream. We're kind of moving the podcast over from live stream to YouTube. Eventually, I'm hoping to get the podcast kind of moved on to other platforms as well. So instead of just me talking for the first little bit and then switching over to the guest is going to be joining me right from the beginning. So he's going to go through all of the, on this day, interesting and fun facts and odd news kind of with me. We'll do that still. That'll always be part of the beginning of the podcast. And then we will switch over to kind of the interview with him kind of about the halfway mark. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to see how it goes, see how you guys like it. And if you guys are kind of into liking the change, then we'll kind of go that way. But today's very special guest is Mr. Garden. I met Mr. Garden probably a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago now. He's been a big supporter of my channel, and some of the people that are in his channel are familiar to all of us. So I wanted to have him on today and kind of talk to him for a little bit, allow you guys to get to know him better, and hopefully people of his community to kind of get to know me better. But he's very anxiously hanging off in the distance. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So I know we were kind of talking a little bit kind of before we started the podcast, but what are you up to today? Did you behave yourself today?
Well, I ended up staying up till like 9 a.m. this morning. Was supposed to stay up later, but the eye doctor called. We were supposed to go to the eye doctor. They wanted recent negative test results.
Oh.
They could have told us that when we made the appointment 2 weeks ago, last week when they called, or yesterday when they called.
To make it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, considering the fact it's 60 miles away, we were supposed to be there at 9:30, and they called at 8:15 this morning.
Oh, they expected you to somehow reinvent or invent a flying machine to get there?
Mm-hmm.
I know I had that. It would have been, it would have been probably a month ago now. Due to everything that's going on right now, appointments get changed. So I had a dentist appointment. I think it was for it was some weird time. It was like 1:15. But they changed my dentist appointment to earlier because they were allowed to start seeing more patients. So there was kind of less time between patients, which allowed them to see more patients. So they phoned me before I've even left, and they're like, are you showing up for your appointment today? I'm like, well, my appointment's not for another, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and they're like, oh, actually, they're like, we've changed it, and we just didn't let you know. That's always very nice.
I've had that happen.
So we were kind of talking before. We were kind of going through important events. I know you found more in your event list, but the one couple of them that I found, because I'm on the highlights, you're on the actual events. But 1970, Douglas Engelbart receives the patent for the first computer mouse.
Think about that. 1917?
1970. But
70.
if you think back to how big computers actually were back then, like they don't have a picture, but I'm almost wondering how big this computer mouse was.
Yeah, you've seen the famous picture of them loading the 10 megabyte hard drive.
Yes, the picture, and then they had the first it's the first pictures of the actual computers that took up, like, it would have been probably at least 4 of my apartments. It would have taken up to fit the computer in.
Actually, I googled it. The picture, it's bigger, but it's not like super large.
So just kind of bigger in size then?
Yeah, and it looks like that's the right one. It also looks like it was kind of made of wood.
Oh, so I wonder if they almost would have done, well, because it would have been a protocol, maybe? So, like,
Describing it in the patent application, it is an XY position indicator for a display system.
wow.
And it was nicknamed a mouse because of the tail.
See, I knew that. Like, I knew it got a mouse because of the tail that came off of it, but the first ones probably could almost been rats. Good to call them, because they would have probably been bigger than mice, but
Yeah, I like using a standard sized one.
I know that's like me too. Like when I used to have my computer, like I had, like the one I had, I think had four or five buttons on the side, and then it had two left mouse clicks. It had 2 right mouse clicks, the scroll in the middle, but then it also had like a ball behind it.
Yeah.
So like when I got my new computer, I went solely just with a regular mouse. Like I've got a back on the side, the scroll, and a left and right click. That's about it.
No, I got a fancy one. I have 6 buttons on the side. Left click, right click. They have 2 buttons by right click. And I could push the scroll wheel down or scroll it. Then I have another button. There's so many buttons. There's no way I could program them all.
Well, and I think a lot of it too, because I know, like I've seen people playing Battlefield. I've seen people playing Call of Duty where pretty much they don't need the keyboard. They just use their mouse as the keyboard for the most part. But
yeah,
I'm just not used to having very big things in my hand, so. Well, someone had to go there. I might as well. But speaking of big things in your hand, in 1869, the Suez Canal in Egypt opens, linking the Mediterranean and the Red Sea together. I know I was watching when don't know the date or year offhand, but I can remember watching the pictures from when they were making the Panama Canal. And I'm almost wondering, like I've never seen pictures of the Suez Canal, but I'm kind of wondering if it's as big as the Panama Canal.
Oh, have you heard about ships called post-pan?
Post-Pan? No.
They're too big to go through the Panama Canal.
So then, like, if they can't cross through the Panama, would they have to just go all the way down and around like they used to?
Most of those are dedicated to like China to LA or like New York to Europe and stuff. They usually don't
I
have
see.
to go down and around. They just make like that. Well, it's not a straight line. Pretty much is a straight line trips back and forth.
Yeah, I guess kind of makes sense. And then they just move the smaller, leave the smaller ships to go through the canal.
Yeah. Well, look at how many containers a train can hold.
Yeah.
You know, and they're supposed to be happening here soon. They're going to start pulling super trains. It's going to be 70 miles north of here. Normal trains like 5 engines, and I think it's 100 cars. These super trains are supposed to be something like 15 engines and 500 cars.
Well, see, I've seen, like here, I don't know if they'd call them super trains, but it's just because, like, it's so flat here. Like, pretty much from halfway through Alberta to almost all of Manitoba. So, like, lots of times you'll see, like, 3 engines in the front. And then I think they go up to almost 200 cars. But they'll do, like, booster engines in the middle. So they'll do, like, 3 engines and then 100 cars. And then 2 engines and 100 cars. But I think that's only around here. Because once you kind of get into Western Alberta, into Ontario, I know you kind of get into a little bit of different terrain. So I know they have to kind of do it different. But it would almost be like, I know in Australia, I don't know if you've ever seen the show or not, but they have like they're semi haulers.
Yeah.
They're like those super semis or whatever they call them. And like here they'll do a train, which is like 2 53-foot trailers. But I know they'll do as much as like 15 trailers behind a truck. It's insane.
Well, and you know the origins of that, right?
I don't know.
It was back when they first started it. The truck, they couldn't stop them, so they didn't actually have brakes. So 15, 20 miles outside of town, you just pull your foot off the throttle.
That's crazy. So you're just basically left to your
Coasting.
own demise.
Well, yeah. Well, they would also do. Well, I watched those from Australia. It's like they would also do 150, 200, 150 kilometers an hour.
That's crazy.
I think that's what it was. Just think about how fast that is actually. And think about how big those are.
Well, like, would you need a special license for those?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not in Australia.
Because I know, like, if you've ever watched like Ice Road Trucker, like I don't think they need special licenses like for hauling on the ice roads and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I know that one season they did, it was like Ice Road Trucker Abroad, and they were over in Africa or something, I think.
Oh, they were in a bunch of different countries.
And like some of those roads, holy man, no thank you.
They for those ones, if I remember correctly, they have to get special training in those countries. But then the show also like, oh, here's $100,000 to the government. The government's like, oh, okay, yeah, they could drive on the road.
Yeah, because like you think about what that kind of money would do for them,
Yeah.
considering there's such a difference in the exchange rate.
Mhm.
I know for me here, it's nighttime. I'm assuming it's probably dark where you are as well, because
Mhm.
you're daylight savings time, right?
Yeah, we're at 6:30 p.m. right now.
Yeah, so you're an hour behind me. So if you look out your window, you can probably see the moon. And a fact is that there were active volcanoes on the moon when dinosaurs were alive. The claim is that most of the volcanoes probably stopped 1 billion years ago, but new NASA findings suggest that there might still be an active lava flow 100 million years ago when dinosaurs were still roaming the earth.
That's crazy.
I know they're still on this kick that there was water, but I don't know, to think that it's more, the moon's more similar to Earth, kind of like, it almost seems like the moon at one point may have been an Earth. Then we have our
Well, that's
Earth.
one of the theories.
So I'm wondering, like, if you go, say, 100 million years from now, will there be like a new Earth? And will the Earth now be another orbiting moon?
Well, if you go 140 million light years away and have a telescope powerful enough to look at the Earth, you'll see dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, and what is it? The one, the one thing that was, I can't even think of the name of it, that was launched in 1977. Finally, I think they said they believe it has left our galaxy, finally.
Oh, like a probe?
Yeah, the Voyager probe, I think it is.
Well, and that's the thing that people don't realize, like how big the galaxy is, because I know they were even talking about the sun, and I can't remember how many thousands of years, like the sun rays that are hitting the Earth now left the sun thousands of years ago. So they said that if the sun were to actually burn out, we wouldn't know about it for, well, we would definitely be in the ground before we found out about it.
Yeah, look up the Voyager one. It is currently 14,114,259,000 miles from Earth.
Well, and they're tracking that too, aren't they?
I mean, it's live updating right now.
Because I know that's where, I think it was when it passed Pluto. Because for the longest time they couldn't figure out what was it? Because Pluto bounces into another solar system, and they could never figure out why it would disappear. But I think it was when the Voyager got out that far, it actually seen it leap from the one solar system back to ours. And then I think that's what caused them eventually to change it to a star instead of a planet. Because like when I was in school, Pluto was the 9th planet. But then now technically they only have 8 planets, and then Pluto is a superstar or whatever they call it.
Dwarf.
Or a dwarf star.
From the time Pluto was first discovered till it was declassified, it never made a full orbit of the sun.
Really?
Because it's it takes so long for it to orbit.
That's crazy. Poor Pluto. didn't even have a chance. Couldn't even give it one revolution.
You watch Rick and Morty, right?
I do not know.
Oh, there's an episode about Pluto on it, and it's kind of funny.
I did like. Go ahead.
Go on.
No, you go. You talk.
Well, Morty's got to make an orrery, and his dad wants to add Pluto, and he's like, it's not a planet. Well, they ended up getting transported to Pluto by aliens.
Then they just do the rest of the episode from there.
It goes back and forth between the main characters on Earth and there.
You have dogs, right? Speaking of Pluto,
Not currently.
did you know that dogs sniff good smells with their left nostril? So dogs will normally start sniffing with their right nostril, and then they will keep it there if the smell could signal danger. But they'll shift the smell to the left nostril for something pleasant like food or a mating partner.
So if a dog walks up to you and starts smelling you with its left nostril, you better check for bacon in your pockets.
Bacon for pocket, or yeah, bacon in your pocket, or either that or the dog's gonna start humping your leg. It could be one or the other. Yeah, so maybe in the morning, if you're having bacon for breakfast, you might want to change your pants.
Yeah. Speaking of that, actually, I prefer breakfast for dinner because I rarely can eat before noon.
That's kind of how I am. Like I don't know. I know they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but I've never. I don't know. As I got older, I've kind of outgrown like getting up to have breakfast. My dad is still very, like my dad grew up on a farm, so he's still very in the now. Like the very first thing you do when you get up is you eat breakfast. But I have discovered, like breakfast for dinner, and I think a lot of that has to do with like me working night shift and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of times like 7-8 o'clock at night, I'll sit down and I'll have a bowl of cereal, or I'll fry up a couple eggs or whatever. And
Well, here's an interesting one from today in history. 1894, H. Holmes is arrested.
does it say what he was charged with?
Oh, he's America's first serial killer.
Oh, so I'm imagining
made-
with murder then.
He made the murder hotel.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
I would still. Oh crap! I can't think of the name now. It slipped my tongue. The that English serial killer that they've never found to this day.
Jack the Ripper.
Yes, Jack the Ripper. Like it would be interesting because I imagine it's like you'd think with all the technology that they have nowadays, that some of these old crimes and stuff they would be able to at least attempt to try to solve now, but
Well, they have, and the latest one was, I think he was a barber, is what they're claiming now. He's either a bar. The two latest theories were he was a barber or he worked for the Queen.
oh, well, see, I know if you've ever played Assassin's Creed, there was I can't remember which Assassin's Creed it was, but you were in England, and one of the DLCs to that was actually Jack the Ripper, the DLC, and you got to play kind of as Jack the Ripper, but it didn't really kind of give you any more clues or information as to
Yeah.
who he
Kind
was.
of, it would be cool if it was solved, but I think there is more pertinence in the unknowing than there is in the knowing.
Yeah, and that's the same too, like with the Black Dahlia. Like they're pretty sure they know who it is, but it's become one of those staple points that people almost don't want to know. Like they're pretty sure they do know. And it would be the same as like the Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot. Like it's just that the fact of the possibility of it being out there.
What do you think about Bigfoot and Loch Ness and stuff? You think it's real, possible, or completely fake?
See, I don't know. Like with the Loch Ness monster, because they've actually found tunnels or underwater cave systems that link out into the ocean. So the possibility of there being something large, because like they've only discovered, what is it, 2% or 3% of the ocean, because the rest of it is so deep. So there is the possibility that the Loch Ness Monster is around. As far as Bigfoot, I don't know. A couple years back, I started listening to this podcast. It was called, what was it called now? Dogman Encounters. And it was
Yeah.
people that phoned in with present day sightings of werewolves. Where
Yeah.
when you take that, like that part, kind of getting into the different end of a spectrum there.
Yeah.
But like as far as Loch Ness Monster, there's a possibility. Bigfoot, I don't know. Like, is there a possibility that there's some ape-like creatures or something that
Well, look at Gigantopithecus.
Gigantopithecus?
Gigantopithecus is a real, extinct, I think 10,000 years ago, ape. It was 10 foot tall, lived in China. Researchers had been in that area for a long time. They kept hearing rumors about this. Well, not until they were at I guess, a medicinal kind of thing, they uncovered the teeth of it.
Hmm.
So it was real. It was like 10 to 50,000 years ago, somewhere in that time frame when extinct. But yeah, it was a giant ape.
And
Um,
I know like here they claim that there isn't, but they've also had like Bigfoot, what do they call them now? Like Bigfoot hunters or whatever that have supposedly had hair from Bigfoot,
yeah.
and they've sent it off to labs to get tested, and the database came back that it could not link that hair with anything in a known database, and that's pulling data from the whole world. So, and in some of those forest areas, is there a possibility that there's animals around that we don't know about? I think so.
Well, I mean, yeah, I, I'm more of a believable skeptic, I guess. Um, I don't doubt it's there. I would love to see actual real proof because I watched these just watch these Bigfoot hunting shows. And the one that got the most popular is the fakest one out there ever.
Yeah. Or
I'm not gonna
all
say the name of it, but uh, they're out there. The guy's 6'8", holding up a stick above his head, puts a hat on. Like, oh yeah, it was that big. And like, well, that's 8 foot tall. No, when you're 6'7", you stick your arm above your head. Your arm's 7.5 foot. You have a 3 foot stick. It's 10.5 foot. It's 11 foot Bigfoot now.
and plus too, it's where they're standing exactly. I'm pretty sure I know the show you're talking about. But like when you see something, and I've seen it lots because all the sightings are at nighttime, and when it's dark out, your eyes play tricks on you. And
And then,
like especially with my job, like I work underground and it's dark all the time. So there's lots of times like I'll misjudge distance, or I'll think I see something that I actually don't, just because it's how the light is actually hitting your eye.
yeah,
And like even too with all the technology that we have, like I know there's been more recent pictures of like Loch Ness Monster and stuff. But like as far as Bigfoot goes, like everybody nowadays carries a cell phone. I understand that not every place has cell service, but pretty much everybody carries a cell phone. And with drones and stuff nowadays, like how that stuff is flying around, and like there's no clear recent pictures of either like Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster.
um, yeah, that's very valid, and you can't argue with that. Um, my thing is when you're out there, hunting, and all these 99.9% of these people that go out there, hunting Bigfoot are not hunters.
No.
Uh,
No, they're not.
be a hunter, you have to have, it's a different mindset if you've ever been hunting. So they're out there, oh, we're going to call blast. Well, we heard something in that direction. But if you had someone out there that was a good hunter, they'd be like, no, you guys, it's that direction behind us. It's echoing off that mountain and that mountain. So it's projecting this way, but it's behind us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're gonna put out this ape urine.
that was the was that the episode when they were in North Dakota?
I don't.
There was one.
They'd done it on multiple episodes, but it's like. But then I was watching one thing, and it was interesting because it was a guy was talking, and him and his girlfriend had been up camping, and their cabin was attacked, and he believes it's because she was on her monthly.
Oh.
And it's like, well, you could give some cadence to that because that's when most animals, and a Bigfoot is any type of animal.
See, then that would almost put it into like the predator category then.
Yeah. But I mean, look at nature. The rut happens. Why does it happen? How do animals test if the other's ready?
Well, and a lot of it too is the same with fish. Like you look at piranhas. Piranhas are attracted to blood. They're a predator. Sharks are attracted to blood. And they're a very big predator.
But which are they attracted to in a predatory sense or in a mating sense? That's where the line comes in about Bigfoot.
Yeah, and that would make it more that would kind of play more on the ape-like characteristics, right?
Yeah.
Because then it would be like, well, for those that are ape and human are linked at some point, who kind of bring in characteristics from that.
Well, and then you also, though, science says that, you're attracted to your mate because of the smell.
Yeah, through scent.
And sometimes you can actually smell your mate in a good way long before you can see him.
Well, and that's how most animals are. Like a dog or a cat will actually pick up on your scent, or they'll recognize you by your scent long before they actually even see you.
Yeah, but until they can disprove it doesn't exist, I'm going to be a cautious skeptic wanting to believe.
And that's the same thing with aliens too. Like, there's the proof that they possibly exist, but there isn't proof saying that they don't exist.
Let me look up the quote real quick. It's one of the strangest, the best quotes about aliens. Okay. Author Arthur C. Clarke. Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying.
So it's almost like the 50-50 chance.
Well, think about it. If we are alone, why are we the only ones?
And if we aren't alone, where are they?
Well, they're watching Earth via, reality show going, holy fuck.
Can you imagine, like, They're like our reality shows are like watching like Amazing Race, Big Brother, Survivor, but then like their reality shows are actually using our satellites
Well,
to watch shows of us, to which
yeah.
to them they'd probably think that cats and dogs are the supreme beings, seeing as how we walk
Well,
behind them and
South
pick up their
Park,
poop.
yeah, South Park did no, it was one episode or a series of episodes, kind of about Earth's reality show.
I think I seen that one.
And
South Park is
I
such a great show.
like I said, with aliens, I have an alien. Well, it's the stereotypical alien head, tattoo in green.
Oh,
It's not
yep.
very big. I just got it for, mainly I got it because I knew the tattooist and he owed me money and he offered to do it in exchange for not owing me money. I'll tell you what though, I bled green for 3 weeks. It is so deep into my skin.
Wow.
But it's 12 years old now, and it still looks practically brand new.
You still
So
get
I'm
care
not
of it.
complaining. Well, it's under my t-shirt line, and I wear t-shirts all the time.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Well, even the two he did on my forearm, though, or the inside of my forearm, they're the same age. They're just the standard, like, black and gray.
Mm-hmm.
They still look brand new, too.
Well, I'm keeping them out of the sun.
Yeah. Oh,
I-
Go on.
No, I was just gonna say we were talking about the moon, how the moon had volcanoes and stuff on it, and they were talking about the dinosaurs. The 20, where is it here? A 25-foot tall dinosaur balloon sculpture breaks the Guinness World Record. So a team of artists used about 150,000 biodegradable balloons to construct a 25-foot high sculpture of a dinosaur that captured a Guinness World Record in Turkey. Guinness said the guys, they teamed up with a balloon crew to build a massive dinosaur sculpture in Istanbul. The finished sculpture, made from about 150,000 biodegradable balloons, measured 25 feet 9 inches high, 25 feet 9 inches wide, and 64 feet 5 inches long. That's a lot of freaking balloons.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about canals. The first ship sails through the Panama Canal today. 1913.
Does it say what it was carrying?
No, it just... So 107 years ago today, the first ship went through the Panama Canal. And look at how big and impressive that is.
Yeah. But I know... I know it's crazy because you see the ships go through there today, and there's not a lot of room. Like some of those big tankers, it's pretty much shore to shore, almost getting those massive things through. But I can't remember how deep it is though. It's got to be freaking deep to get a cargo tanker through.
I love size comparisons and stuff. There was a picture of, it's a modern cruise ship, and then they superimposed the Titanic in front of it. The Titanic looks like one of those little bitty smart cars versus like a train.
Oh, I think I seen that picture.
And it's just like, that was the biggest luxury liner 108 years ago.
Yeah, that. Well, yeah, it was massive at that time.
Yeah,
Even what was its sister ship?
Lusitania.
Yeah, and that one was, well, dang near the same size. Like they were big, but then you look at the ships and stuff that we have nowadays, and they're actually relatively small.
Well, have you ever watched any documentaries about those giant shipbuilding yards?
The only one I ever seen was they were in, I think it was Sweden, one of their shipyards in Sweden.
It's quite a bit older now, but there was a History Channel Modern Marvels about shipyards, and they show this. You know, they don't really show the scale. At one point, they zoom out, and you can like see this person standing there. And as they zoom out, this person just kind of slowly disappears, and they don't even zoom in out to the one small section of this ship they're building.
I know, that's crazy, eh?
I mean, yeah, being on them, that's one thing, but there's so much underwater and stuff.
Well, and it's the same. It's the same too. Like you look at an iceberg, and they say like 1% of the actual size of the iceberg is sticking out of the water, and the rest of it is actually submerged underwater. So it makes you wonder how big some of those icebergs actually are.
Oh yeah, um, and there's just so much weirdness about what we don't understand, and they're trying to understand it, but I don't think they ever will fully understand it.
It's always that stuff that makes us keep thinking.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for any of you guys that weren't around when we started off the podcast, Mr. Garden is the voice that you've been hearing in my ear. I will post a link to his Twitch channel in the comments section after we are done. But we're going to switch everything over here. That's his lovely picture that he has sent in. He's kind of rabbit themed for anybody that has been in his channel. He has carrots, he's got cookies. He gives you your healthy and your unhealthy all at the same time. But what got you into video games? How long have you been playing video games for?
Well, this is gonna be on YouTube. So, I got an NES the first year it came out as a Christmas present.
So you're all the way back to retro.
Yeah. Played NES, Atari, got an Atari, uh, PS1. Kind of phased away for a little while, becoming an adult and stuff, and because I think we're about this around the same age. You remember
I
that
think
time
we're only a
frame?
couple years apart.
Yeah, remember that time frame where, nowadays you have a kid, you encourage them to go into computers, into video gaming, like development, and stuff. I'm at the age where once you reach a certain age, video games are stupid. You shouldn't play them. They're a waste of your time. You need to be an adult. You need to have a real life and stuff. So that all happened. And then I started getting back into it a little bit. And then my daughter, my youngest, she wanted Minecraft.
The good old Minecraft.
We bought an Xbox and played a lot of on the same screen, playing Minecraft together, which led us to both us getting computers. I actually had found Twitch before then, and then started playing more Minecraft, started branching out into other games somewhat, and then I know you're going to ask, so I might as well say, what led me to streaming was I really loved Sky Factory 3 and Minecraft.
See, I've never played Sky Factory, but I have seen Sky Factory played.
Well, I watched a lot of streamers play it, and one of them, they asked me if I was ever going to stream, and I said it just as a comment. Oh yeah, I'll stream the day Sky Factory 4 comes out. Well, Sky Factory 4 came out, and by that night, we had a server set up, and I was streaming Sky Factory 4.
See, and that's always the thing that gets us. I know, like, there's a couple people I know. Odie's one of them. Um, you never really kind of thought about streaming, and then all of a sudden you ended up saying something stupid, and here we are.
Well, the thing is, and I could have, they called me out on it, but they also gave me the out option, by saying we know
Yeah.
it was a joke and stuff, and I had put it off because I only had 5, yeah, 20 down, 5 up internet, and that's
Oh
not.
yeah.
And I got 50, 25, and I put it off, and then Sky Factory 4 came out, and they called me out. I'm like, okay, fine.
Fine, I'll do it. Because I know when I started watching you, like you were doing a lot of marbles. I know you were kind of on a hiatus there for a bit, but like you've been doing marbles. Are you kind of still gonna keep going with marbles, or are you thinking of switching it
No.
up a little bit, or?
Probably like, excuse me, vanilla Minecraft and Satisfactory.
Because I know I've watched Yankee Ace play a lot of Satisfactory, and it seems one of those games that I've never played it, but it seems one of those games I think if I were to start playing it, I would become addicted very, very quickly to it.
It is very addictive. I've been I think the last 2 weeks I played it 50 hours
Jeez.
or something. Um, it's and the thing is, even though there's 4 spawn worlds and everything's always in the same location, it's a sandbox game. You can make it how you want to make it.
Oh, I see.
You want it this time, you want to put your base here, put your main base here. Well, next time you're like, oh, I want to go explore before I put my base up.
Also, it kind of gives you that option to look around. So, like, do you have to collect resources in that
Yes,
one too?
You collect resources to make to build better stuff and to send stuff to the uh, home base, I guess is what it's called.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Um, and there's a lot of grinding in it to points, and but it's a game, especially if you're playing multiplayer with someone, and especially if you're in voice chat. Next thing you know, 6 hours has gone by, and you're like, what happened? We just
Yeah.
started 5 minutes ago.
Well, I know. Like I've been playing Stardew Valley with my puppy Taylor a bit, and that's how it is. Like that's anytime I play a game and I'm playing multiplayer, you'll start the game and before you know it, like the whole day has completely disappeared, and you're just like, oh my god, like where did the day go?
Well, last night, I'm probably gonna get back to streaming hopefully soon. But Yankee was streaming it. I was playing. We were in voice chat, and he goes, because he wanted to do a 3 to 4 hour stream. He goes, we've been going 8 hours right now.
See, and that's how fast it happens.
And I mean, the game there's machines, but you can do hand crafting, and sometimes if you're waiting for a machine to do something, sometimes it's quicker to handcraft it. Actually, it's more boring.
Oh, it gives you the option.
But if you're streaming it, you can sit there, and basically you just have to hold the space bar down. So just put some weight on your space bar, and
Yeah.
you can talk to your chat for a while. You're not focusing on the game for a few minutes.
And see, it's kind of nice when games give you that option. Like I don't know. I find it's hard to, like, especially with streaming. It's hard to stream games that are very focused orientated, because it makes it hard. Like, as soon as you look away to read something, you've messed up, and then it's like, oh man, like I got to go back and fix this, or like there's always something.
Oh
So
yeah.
so like you were mentioning, like you started watching Twitch. How long ago was it that you actually started streaming on Twitch? I know you said when it was when the game came out, but how long ago was that?
Um. Hmm. I'm looking it up right now. 'Cause I don't. I'm not. I'm really good with like um I know my wife's birthday, anniversary, and stuff, but when it comes to like this, I have no clue.
So you'll have
It's
to you'll
been
have to
about
put a sticky
a
note on your computer.
year and no, it's almost been 2 years, I think.
Well, see, you got to figure out when it is so you can have your anniversary.
Yeah, I don't remember how to figure that stuff out.
See, if you go, oh, where is it now? I can't remember.
I think
There's
it's creator dashboard.
it'll tell you it's all of your comp or achievements, and it'll be the achievement of when you became affiliate, kind of, because I imagine it probably wasn't much after you started streaming that you became affiliate. I know that's what I went off of. Like
Uh,
my anniversary or whatever was my affiliate day, but I did mine. I do mine my retirement. So like in August this past year, I had my retirement party, and we
uh,
were retiring year one and starting into year two. But I had a lot of people thinking that I was actually retiring from streaming.
yeah. Let me see. I'm looking right now. Um, uh, on. Okay, where is it?
See, this is
4/16.
April 16th.
Yeah, 2019. So I have 5 months.
So a year and a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, 4/16 was my first stream. Uh, for I think it was like by 4/25 I was affiliate.
Yeah, because I know most people, like for me it took me a long time, but a lot of it was like I'd pop in here and there. Like I never really had a schedule. I never really kind of kept up with it. If I felt like
Honestly,
streaming, I'd stream. If I didn't feel like it, I wouldn't.
yeah.
And that's kind
Well,
of that's kind of how I am now, even with my schedule. Like I try to keep, like with my work, it's hard to
yeah.
keep like an actual set schedule, but
Well, I have people ask me still, how do you make affiliate so quick? Before you ever stream, network, build up a bunch of
yep,
friends, uh, and don't tell them you're going to stream. Just become, friends with some streamers, and eventually they'll say, "When are you going to stream?" Be like, "Well, I've been thinking about it," and leave it open ended.
yep,
Because a lot of streamers, once you become friends with them, if they're good people, which most 99% of streamers are, they're like, "Oh, here, let's go get him followers. Let's get him followers." Some as a prank, 3 people I know are never going to stream. I've got them all to 50 followers already.
like all they'd have to do is stream
They
for
have
a
to
week
just,
straight.
yep. And I would guarantee, and even if I had to bring up all my bot account and every other account, I'd make sure they had the viewers. But that's it. Network. Let everyone know, you know, don't like if you're part of a group of streamers or group of people, don't when you set up your stream time, don't step on like there's like a main person that's in the group. Don't step on their toes. don't stream when they stream because you're going to usually lose out, on viewers.
Well, and that's a lot of it too that makes it harder with, like, as like when you first start out, it plays in a lot with that, but then as you start kind of developing yourself, you start developing your channel, it kind of makes it hard because like you'll stream to your schedule, but then you look and it's like, oh crap, well, this person, and this person is streaming, so I'm probably not going to have a lot of viewers today because most of the people that watch me are going to be watching these three people.
Yeah.
So
well, after Twitch changed up the way they did viewer count, that really messed it up too.
Oh, and it's still messed up because you'll have, like, I got to the point where I stopped watching like how many people I had viewing me, because when I first started, that was the focus, and you'd always get so down or disheartened when you look and you'd see 5, but like now, like I turned that off, so I don't know, I could be streaming to 3 people, I could be streaming to 50. Like, I really don't know until I raid. But then when you go back through your stream numbers, your viewer count never matches with your raid count, which means that there's people that are lurking in your channel, there's people that might be watching your channel that, even though it was supposed to be fixed, are still, in my opinion, are still going unaccounted for. Yeah.
Well, one of the things, and that's a good point, don't watch your viewer count. Where I prefer to do nighttime streaming, I know quite a few people are asleep. And, everyone hates their own voice. I've heard that. But, I'm one of them. But I have people say, oh, I love turning your stream on, laying there in bed, and then I fall asleep to your voice.
See, okay, and then you gotta charge them, because that's almost like sleep therapy.
I actually have had people tell me I need to do audio ASMR stuff.
Then you actually have to buy the ASMR ears, microphone or whatever.
Yeah. But it's the thing. But if you pay attention to your numbers, you're gonna drive yourself crazy, because you might have 2 people in your chat, or 3 or 4, and your chat may be flying so fast you kind of forget the game because you're reading your chat.
Yeah, like you
might have 40 people and your chat's so dead, you can hear the crickets.
Yeah, like there's really only 2 times you have to focus on viewers. One is when you're pushing to become affiliate, because you need at least 3 viewers on average every stream. The next time is if you're ever pushing to become partner, because you have to have at least, I think it's 75 viewers on average for every stream.
75 viewers.
So, like, if you're an affiliate and you're not pushing for partner, there's really no point in watching your view count, because if you're streaming for the viewers, you're doing it wrong. Like when I stream, like I said, I've turned it off because I'm streaming because I want to be streaming. And everybody that comes in and pops in and says hi, that's the reason why I do it. Whether it's 5 people or 50 people, that number doesn't really mean much to me at all.
Well, it's like when I was doing the Marvel streams, I called it just chatting with a game in the background, because that's more what it was. And so if chat started to die down, I could focus on the game more and stuff. But you can always tell which streamers are actually watching their numbers actively.
Yeah. And even with the new numbers, like Marvel's brought in that point system or energy system. But even still, like if you, like I've checked a few times, if I'm doing a marble stream, the marbles on the track will never, ever, ever match up to the viewer count that you have in your channel, ever.
Oh no, I've had as many as 40 marbles on the track and 15 viewers.
Yeah, so right there it's telling you that 20, 25 people or 24 people or whatever are, I guess, I don't know, quote unquote lurking, but yet they're really not. Like if they can come and type in your chat, clearly that's not a lurking person. So it's still, as to why it doesn't count as a viewer, is still, it still confuzzles me to this day. But
there's, well, the thing is, when they first released the whole new thing, if I remember correctly, it was up to X amount of channels. I don't remember the number, but none of them could be muted, even through the tab. So I'm wondering if that's still causing problems.
well, see, because I know, yeah, because they limit. Oh, what is it? I think it's either 3 or 5. Like you can have three or 5 tabs open, but you won't. I think it's after your 3rd tab open, the rest of them don't count. And then yeah, if you have it muted, then I think it also doesn't count. So yeah, it could be a thing.
But well, the thing is, like focusing on numbers. Yeah, when you go become affiliate, like you said, or if you're gonna try to become a partner. But another thing I've noticed is, I'm gonna say someone's name, Ninja. Okay, no matter way you feel about him, look at his numbers. Okay, your odds of being the next Ninja, I think you'd have better luck of winning the lottery, being struck by lightning at the same second.
It's funny that you bring up Ninja, because we're actually we've got a bunch of us that got hooked on this. It's called themed crossword puzzle or something.
Yeah.
And it was actually about video games, and one of the questions came up. It was what was it? It was asking what Ninja's middle name was. So it's funny because it was only a couple days ago we were doing that crossword puzzle. It's just funny that you bring up Ninja.
Yeah, but everyone that sits there, they think they're going to be the next big thing. It's great to think, but I just popped open Twitch real quick. The number 1 Minecraft stream has 33.9 thousand viewers.
Dang.
Second's 30.
Yeah.
What are the odds that's going to be you? I would love for it to be you. Love for it to be, anyone.
And that's where you see so many people come and go, because like when I first started getting into the whole like streaming part of it, everybody always makes it look easy. Like you're sitting and watching a stream and you're just like, oh man, like this looks easy. I could do this. But then once you start doing it, you realize that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that you don't see. And you don't realize that, yeah, it's not as easy as just going live and, playing a video game and chatting with people. Like it's, you got to work at it. And then like even too, like with me now doing the podcast, like I spend lots of nights where like I'm trying to get the schedule down. I'm trying to get guests lined up. There's, stuff that I'm doing on YouTube. There's stuff that I'm doing on Twitter. There's stuff that I'm, there's so much behind the scenes that people don't see until they actually start streaming, and then they're just like, holy crap, like, yeah, okay. And it's almost like they get so overwhelmed so fast, and sadly you see so many of them fire up, guns a-blazing, and then within a couple months they're dust, like they've completely vanished.
Yeah. Well, it's there's one. I don't even know who it was, but he's a massive partner who said, and he averages 20,000, who said that for every hour of streaming he does, it's almost 2 hours of behind the scenes work. The Twitters, talking to advertisers, doing all the social medias and everything. And he goes, and honestly, if my wife wasn't involved, I couldn't maintain the level I do.
Yeah.
He goes, because, he goes, on any given day, he goes, I could be tagged in up to he goes, anywhere from 50 to 500 tweets. And you want to make sure that, you're not being tagged in a tweet that's, against your principles.
Well, and I know too, those people are kind of held to a different standard because you're an actual contract, so you have to be a little bit more, we all need to be careful, but especially when you're at that level, it becomes almost an extra added level above what we do yet.
Well, I'm not, saying it's right or it's wrong, but there was a NASCAR driver who evidently would do Twitch streams. Well, he dropped a very inappropriate word on one of his streams. Twitch basically muted his bod, told him he's got a 1 week suspension, okay, or something.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR banned him for life.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as you hear people they'll make a post on Facebook and they've been terminated from their job, over a comment or a post on social media. It's
yeah. And that's the day and age we live in, and it comes around. So no matter what you put out there, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, I don't even know all of them nowadays, it comes back to you.
Yeah,
you can't have you can't be online and have two separate online identities.
Yeah, it's at some point your identities will overlap.
Well, it's I was talking to someone. I guess there was someone was getting really big on YouTube, getting lots and lots of views per month. Well, they found out that they would make more money on an adult orientated website. They basically quit YouTube because they're getting paid so much more. Well, originally they weren't going to, but someone happened to notice, because I guess they never showed their face on YouTube, noticed the same speech patterns.
Oh.
And linked them together. So they quit the YouTube videos, and they did it. They basically said, hey, I've been on this other site, and, for 6 months, and I just bought a $300,000 house from the other site.
Dang.
What am I going to do?
Yeah. Maybe one day I'll be if my podcasts ever take off or whatever, maybe one day I'll be able to buy a $300,000-$400,000 house.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, all it takes is something to go viral, or something.
Yeah.
Or just all of a sudden, people are like, oh, I really like this guy. Listen to him. Because, to this day, word of mouth is still the greatest advertiser there is.
Oh, absolutely it is. And that's...
Even if it's written word of mouth.
Yeah, and that's all it takes is, you look at a lot of people that have YouTube videos, especially some of the big YouTube videos, and all it took was for one person to look at it and they're like, man, you got to check this out. And then, with Facebook and all that kind of stuff, that stuff takes off like wildfire.
Well, there was a YouTube video, YouTube person, little kid, would hold up like a dinosaur and explain all about the dinosaur. This kid was like a dinosaur genius at 9 years old. Well, some big YouTuber just went down the rabbit hole one night and found him and was like, "Hey, go check this kid out, man. I looked up his information. He's dead on. This kid loves dinosaurs." Well, kid's channel blew up, but unfortunately, when it blows up, you also get a lot of assholes.
Yeah. Well, because with the good always comes the negative, right?
So the kid actually, his last video on his channel, removed the rest of it, was him crying, saying, "All I'm trying to do is bring my love of dinosaurs to you. Why are you being mean to me? I'm 9 years old." Because there was the negative comments like, "Go kill yourself" and stuff. It's like, he's 9 years old. He's sharing his love of dinosaurs with you. You don't like it? Guess what? There's, what, 1,000,000 hours of content loaded up to you in YouTube a day?
Yeah. But that's the problem. Like, people get a false sense of security when they're sitting behind a keyboard. And that's a lot of the problem. Like, you notice even when you're driving. Like, someone cuts you off, you honk at them. The immediate reaction is they give you the finger. Well, because they know that they're safely hidden inside of their vehicle. But if you were outside, it would probably be different. But because they have that false sense where, oh, I'm hiding behind a keyboard, I can say whatever I want. Well, people don't realize that words like that, even though they are behind a keyboard, are as dangerous and devastating as, if you were to walk right up to the kid and tell him that. But people get braver when they've got something to hide behind.
Well, speaking of driving, that's why I like our truck. Very few people that cut me off when I honk at them even remotely flip me off. They just speed up really fast. Because they realize they're going to die.
Oh, I'm not going to win out of this one.
Well, one night when I was working at the gas station, I left at the same time. I say kid because he not old enough to drink. You're still a kid. Well, I got right behind him as we're pulling out to the point where I could no longer see the top of his car. So my headlights were just shining straight through his rear window. He got out, watched me. "Is everything okay?" I go, "Dude, you could have went for the last 5 minutes. You need to go, or I'm just going to push you into the road."
Yeah, either you go with your gas pedal, or I'll make you go with my gas pedal.
And, basically, I didn't tailgate him home, but kind of did, because he'd stop, he got to the speed limit, but then he'd stop at the stop sign forever. No one's coming. It's a 4-way stop. It's 10:30 at night. Small town. You can clearly see no one's coming. And finally he made a turn that I didn't have to make. Next thing he goes, "Why were you tailgating me?" I go, "Why wouldn't I be?" Now, that's my false sense of being behind the steering wheel thing, like you said, but his is...
We're all like that.
I got this truck that can almost... And actually, I pulled up behind him one day when he was parked and realized if I put about a 3-inch lift, I could drive right onto the trunk of his car.
Just have like a monster truck lift?
No, not even that. It's standard height 4x4. His back end of his car is so low that it will only take about a 3-inch lift for my bumper to clear him.
But anyways, man, that's going to bring us to the end of our podcast today. I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your evening. I know you're a busy man. So I want to thank you very much for taking time to hang out with me tonight. Kind of stumble our way through this podcast. I greatly do appreciate it. And I will have a link for you. Normally when I used to do it before, it would be in chat, but with us kind of doing a different format, I will have a link for your channel in the description below. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on and hanging out with me.
You're welcome.
You have yourself a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay, have fun.
All right, you guys, that is episode 5. special thanks going out to Mr. Garden, like I said, for coming and hanging out with us. You guys have been awesome and amazing. I did post in Discord. We have hit over 100 views. I think we're at like 110 or something like that for views. So thank you very much, you guys. I've been enjoying doing it. The way I'll do it is I'll do the podcast and then I'll upload them probably that day or the next day. But so keep checking the schedule in Discord. Keep checking my schedule on Twitter, and I will see you guys around for the next one. Have a good night. Bye for now.
You have been watching GTR, a Gul'dan 7878 production. No animals were harmed in the making of this show. All guests on today's show drank the green goo willingly. All reproductions of this show are strictly prohibited. For more information on the show, check out my Discord page. Thank you all for watching, and good night.